What's up everyone, and welcome back to Nexus. Disney is a source of much childhood nostalgia, and there's probably not a person alive who doesn't have a favorite Disney movie. Even if they're the type who say they hate it, they'll have a guilty pleasure. And Disney parks have always been the most desirable destination on the planet for the perfect family holiday, attempting to recapture this sense of nostalgia. But what is it the Walt Disney Company is hiding from you? Watch this video to find out 10 Disney park secrets. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get new content similar to this every day. Also, make sure to comment down below letting us know which was your favorite. And for this video, let's see if we can hit the golden like button, which is 1,000 likes, so make sure to drop a like down below. Number 10. This is a cool fact that actually got the top spot on our video a few months ago, 15 facts you may not know about Disney. So accordingly, I can't in good conscience put it as number 1 here as well. Along with that, it's getting to be a pretty well-known secret, but that doesn't make it any less interesting. While you might generally go to the Haunted Mansion attraction to find ghosts in any Disney park, or alternatively the Tower of Terror, the most likely place to find evidence of the paranormal is probably within the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Why is this, you ask? Well, because when the ride was built in the 1960s, fake skeletons just weren't convincing. So Walt Disney took it upon himself to acquire some real-life bona fide skeletons from the nearby UCLA. As the story goes, the bones have now been removed from the ride, but there are rumors that the old bones of the deceased whose bodies were donated to science still remain in the dark. Number 9. The illusions continue into the Kilimanjaro Safari in the Animal Kingdom. Now, I for one think zoos are pretty cruel, and I can't say I agree with the way the handlers manipulate the animals to look more impressive for the guest, but it's still pretty interesting. They actually cover the roof of the elephant enclosures with honey to make sure people see them using their trunks. They shoot raisins out of cannons to convince the gorillas to move around their area. And the lions sit on top of Pride Rock because the top of Pride Rock is actually air conditioned so that they prefer it. Number 8. Apparently, if you want to play Tinkerbell in a Disney park, along with being incredibly tiny to match the character, you also have to have immense upper body strength and be able to fly. Seems like a bit of an odd match if you ask me, but this is because of the part in the nightly show where Tinkerbell flies over the Magic Kingdom. Of course, she isn't actually flying, but there's more at work than you might think when she comes down on her wire from Cinderella's castle. Apparently, she needs to be shoved pretty hard from the window in order to actually make it to the bottom with enough momentum, hence the need for upper body strength. If she doesn't have the momentum to make it, she'll literally have to just drag herself along the wire to the bottom, which would most definitely break the illusion of Disneyland. Number 7. Recently, Disney hit the headlines when the Tower of Terror in Disney California Adventure Park was taken down without any kind of announcements forewarning anyone. People going into the park that day saw a crane appear next to the ride, and the following morning the letters of the now iconic ride had all been removed. The ride only got shut down officially this January, but up until that point it had become a prime attraction of Disney. Hopefully this fact will let us close the book on that ride pretty amicably. It's alleged that the Imagineers behind the Tower of Terror played a hell of a lot of pranks on each other, which supposedly involved a jar of pickled sausages. I guess they hid it around until someone found it when it started to stink. Regardless, it was mistakenly glued down with the rest of the props one night and has stayed there to this day, as a nod to how fun the job is. Number 6. Now for anyone outside of the United States of America, the treatment of the flag seems pretty weird. The almost religious raising and lowering and being flown at half-mast at certain times of day, almost no other country in the world treats their flag like this. By law, in fact, the flags have to be raised and lowered like this, which is why if you look closely, you'll see that all the American flags in Disney World are actually incorrect. They line Main Street and they're all wrong, missing a star here and a stripe there, so that they can be left up the whole time. Along with that, the flagpoles are lightning rods there to protect the guests from storms. Number 5. Still sticking with the weirdness of the Main Street USA area of the park and its surrounding area of Liberty Square, that area is themed around colonial era America, right after the War of Independence and the US gaining sovereignty as its own nation. To match with that theme, technically there are no modern toilets in the whole area, because back in the colonial area they didn't have modern toilets themselves. Whether this is true or whether there are some secret staff bathrooms hidden around remains to be seen. And you could probably make a pretty good case that there are, in fact, modern bathrooms. That's because the restaurants Liberty Tree Tavern and Columbia Harbor House do have bathrooms. However, they are allegedly so far into the back of the buildings that they actually reside in other lands. Number 4. Have you ever wondered why, when you go to a Disney park, you never see the actors and face characters hanging around at the restaurants or cafes on their breaks? Why you never see them just walking through the wrong area on their way to get somewhere else? Well, that would be because there's an incredibly complicated and elaborate network of underground tunnels beneath Disney parks to stop these illusions from being broken. This allegedly came about when Walt Disney saw a cowboy walking through the futuristic Tomorrowland just trying to get where he was meant to be, in Frontierland, and was so disgusted that he just had to build these tunnels. At least in the event of a war, they'd probably all make pretty good bomb shelters. Who knows if that wasn't their real intention? It wouldn't surprise me if Walt Disney had made all his parks capable to weather a nuclear war. Number 3. With the United States of America having one of the largest militaries, it wouldn't surprise you to hear that they also purchase the highest number of explosives of anyone else in the world. But who buys the second highest number of explosives? Well, it's Disney, scarily enough. They spend an estimated $45 million on explosives every year. All of this in the form of fireworks for their elaborate displays. They're actually the world's biggest consumer of fireworks, since they hold their displays every night, even when there isn't anything special going on. I'd hate to see how much they spend on the 4th of July or New Year's. Number 2. Ever since the movie industry mastered 3D back in the 1980s, they've been after more and more ways to immerse people in the world they're trying to create. One way they've been trying to do this is through the sense of smell, with some films giving people scratch and sniff cards for them to smell at certain points during the movie. Disney, however, has taken this further and basically mastered the technology. The Imagineers have, over 30 years ago now, invented something called an air smellitizer. Air smellitizers are found all over the Disney parks across the world and pump out whatever smell matches the area they're in, to make you feel like you really are in another world. For example, Main Street USA smells of freshly baked cookies and vanilla extract. You can smell the salty sea air outside the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, burning lumber when you see the Fall of Rome, and the smell of the rusty old boiler room on board the Tower of Terror. Number 1. What's the fanciest restaurant in the world? Is it one of the 3 restaurants in the world-famous Ritz Hotel, a symbol of status in society since 1906? Is it the restaurant in the base of the Burj Al Arab in Dubai, where you have to wear a black tie just to be allowed entry? Or is it actually Club 33, Walt Disney's prestigious venue which resides in 3 of the world's Disney parks? It's gotta be the last one. The one with a 14-year waiting list and a $50,000 upfront membership fee, along with an annual fee of $15,000. Club 33 was once Disneyland's best-kept secret. Though its existence is now well known, it being well known doesn't make it any harder to gain access to. Inside it contains a jazz lounge along with its restaurant and is themed around speakeasies of the days of Prohibition. While it sounds like a dream, it's highly unlikely that most people will ever actually get to go inside, which kind of sucks. That was our list of the 10 Disney park secrets. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss a video in the future. And hit the like button too so we can hit the golden like of 1,000. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace!